Hi, I'm Robin with Big Doodle Dreams, and this sweet girl I have here is Alice. Alice is a multi-generational Aussie Doodle. That means that her parents are Aussie Doodles, her grandparents are Aussie Doodles, and her great-grandparents are Aussie Doodles, and there's actually a few more beyond that. But she has a curlier coat. She does have a little bit of shedding, not much, which is why when we do make a litter with her, I typically will go back to a poodle. But she's almost done. She is not quite 4 years old, and she is retiring. She just had her last litter, and she's going to be going home after that. But my sweet girl, she needs to be brushed out. I had just given her a bath, and her coat is very curly, and it needs to be brushed out, and I figured it would be a good time to share the different types of brushes. This brush is a pin brush. The pieces that are on it are softer to the touch. This is the type of brush that I advise for children to use because you are not going to scratch the skin with this brush. This other brush is a slicker, and its little bitty pieces here are very sharp, and you would not want a child to sit and dig down onto her skin. But it is the better brush. It's almost like teasing the coat to make it fluff out, and you can just watch and see how she immediately begins to fluff. And and it's sharp. So a child using this brush could end up scratching the skin and could end up hurting her, and there wouldn't be any point in that. But if you watch her coat that is so curly right now, because she just had a bath, and I don't use a blow dryer. It is harder on their skin. So I usually will towel dry when I bath my dogs. And I allow them, to air dry with some fresh towels after they've had a bath. But if you watch, see, and then I look so pretty when I've been all brushed out. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes. She is just smiling. Yes, you are. You're so sweet. So she probably needs to be trimmed on the top of the head. It's very fluffy. And that's something that I'll do with scissors. I'm not going to run clippers on her head. But if you were brushing your dog out in between grooming, and you should brush them every day, even 5 minutes a day can decrease your chance of mats and knots on your dog. When you do brush, and you brush every day, think about going in those places where the mats typically form. So up in the armpit is one of the biggest places where the mats will start, is in the armpit. And I'm doing this with her harness on. So it'd be easier if we were in the house, but I think outside is much prettier. So that's why we're outside. But you do want to brush all parts. Easy, look at me, look at me. Good girl. Yes, I know. She says, I just want to get up and go. She says, my kids are in the house. Yes, they are. We'll go back in a minute. But you can see how fluffy she is now. Yep. So her color is a little more washed out. This is because she has the fading gene, and it is a specific genetic component. It's something that as a breeder you can test for their colors, and you can test for specific genes. And she has the fading gene. So her typical, if she's bred to a boy dog that also has the fading gene, then any merle that she creates will fade. It will lighten up. Just like her black puppies will lighten up to silver. That comes from the fading gene. If I take her to a dog that does not have the fading gene, then the colors that we get are much, much, much brighter. And I have, some examples of those where they've kept their color. So even as they've aged, you got silly girl, silly girl, silly girl. But It depends on the gene of the parents. And obviously if the mother has the fading gene and the daddy has the fading gene, then all the offspring will also have it. But she has it, and in the past I had always been taking her to a non-fading male dog, and that would give me the colors that would stay, so they wouldn't change. Other times that colors will lighten up is with age and hormones. Hormones can impact the color, and I think right now she's probably a lot lighter just because she did have puppies. And that plays a role. The hormones in their body will affect the actual color. But now you've seen, I've been brushing her, and you can see she does shed. There's not a lot, and it's not getting everywhere. It's just when I brush her. So when taken back to a poodle, she creates puppies that typically do not shed. Right, girl? Yes. Just look at the camera and say, I'm beautiful, you are beautiful. She's very pretty. She's such a sweet girl. She is right around 28 pounds. That gives you an idea of size. And she's such a doll. She's ready. Say, I'll be 4. Yes, you'll be 4, and you're gonna be going to your new home and be spoiled. So I hope that the brushes, and let me show you this one real quick, because this a kid can use, and she doesn't care. It does not hurt her in the least. It is like a nice massage. She doesn't care. But it's not gonna get nearly that same, appearance that you see with the teasing method of the other brush. This is just a nice brush to go through. If there were mats, then you would catch it in this. But this is a lot easier for a child to handle, and the child is not gonna end up hurting the dog. Yep. What a sweet girl. So 2 different brushes, pin brush, slicker brush, and my sweet Alice. Right, Miss Alice? So subscribe to my channel, visit my website, Big Doodle Dreams, and I hope I gave you some good information.